Do you ever feel like life's too loud, too fast, too chaotic? Tonight, we bring you 20 sleepy medieval stories so pointless, they're practically peaceful. From yawning contests to watching grass grow, these are the calmest chronicles you'll ever hear. But before we begin our sleepy journey through the past, consider subscribing. If you love quaint tales from history's quiet corners, we have a ton more where those came from. And if you love even more miniseries like this, check out the playlist for more fun, historical lullabies. Now, let's begin. 1. The Great Cheese Dispute. Have you ever lost sleep over cheese? Probably not, but the villagers of a French commune did. In 1325, they argued about taxes on cheese wheels. Not all the cheese, mind you, just the ones sold within the village. To settle the dispute, they created a system to weigh each cheese wheel entering the village square. This caused new problems. The villagers couldn't agree on the best way to weigh cheese. They couldn't even agree on what constituted a proper cheese wheel. Should the rind be included? What about dents or holes in the cheese? The arguments went on for 3 whole years, week after week, until both sides grew tired. Finally, someone said, enough. And since then, they left cheese wheel measuring to the experts at the market. 2. The Guild of Feather Arrangers. Now tell me, what's the most relaxing thing you do in your spare time? Knit? Draw? Play video games? Well, some folks in the Middle Ages enjoyed a pastime, rarer than the rest. It's called feather arranging, and it was a serious craft. In fact, it was such a respected trade that it had its own guild. That's right. During the 5th, 10th, and 16th centuries, there were professional guilds of feather arrangers in Europe. Their job was to take unprocessed goose feathers and sort, clean, dry, and arrange them for pillows. Yes, they were basically fancy feather dusters. It took 7 years to learn the trade and become a master feather arranger. According to records, they were paid handsomely for their services. Today, feather arranging is considered a dying art. Maybe it's for the best. After all, can you imagine trying to relax on a bed of sharp quills? Ouch. 3. Worshipping a tree. Once upon a time in a quiet forest, there was a village that lived in peace. There were no fights, no thefts, no wars, no nothing. And the reason? They followed one simple tradition. Every season, the villagers would dress up a large tree in the center of the village square with ribbons and cloth. In spring, they adorned it with new flowers. In summer, they hung colorful cloths. In autumn, they used bright fallen leaves. In winter, they tied bundles of branches around it. This went on for hundreds of years. No one knows when the tradition started, but everyone agreed it brought them luck. The villagers believed the tree protected them from boredom and bad luck. Maybe that's why their village remained so peaceful. 4. The Feast of Silence. During the medieval period, many European countries had special occasions known as Holy Silence. That's right, you heard right. It was a 30-day festival celebrated in the depths of winter, when monks ate all their meals without speaking a word. And no, this wasn't a punishment, but a religious practice. Why? Because silence helps in achieving inner peace, and it also keeps you humble. But it doesn't sound very fun, does it? Well, to make it bearable, monks were encouraged to eat delicious food. The noise of eating alone made the silence more meaningful. Can you imagine sitting in a hall with only the sound of forks and spoons on bowls? Apart from eating, reading, and praying, monks were not allowed to speak or make any unnecessary sounds. All they could do was listen to the silence, which probably sounded like this. 5. The Sleeping King. Have you ever dozed off during class or while watching TV? Well, that's nothing compared to the story of a king who fell asleep during his coronation ceremony. Yes, a coronation. Imagine being a knight tasked to guard the future king during his entrance to the throne room. You'd be ready to defend him with your life, right? Well, that must have been quite awkward when the king you were supposed to protect falls asleep on the job. Turns out he was exhausted because he hadn't slept the previous night, planning his speech. While he talked, his eyelids grew heavy and soon he was fast asleep. Everyone froze. No one dared to wake the king, so they placed the crown on his head and let him doze till the ceremony was over. The coronation was so peaceful, it became known as the calm coronation. 6. The Wandering Breadman. Once upon a time, there was a man who wandered from village to village selling bread. He was an expert baker, and his bread was famous all over the country. The funny thing is, he never sold any of it. Each day he'd walk into a village, visit the market, leave a basket of bread and smile at the people, then walk away. People were puzzled by his behavior. Villagers assumed he was crazy, but they appreciated his free gift. Even today, no one knows why he did it, but his actions inspired an age-old legend. 7. The Waiting Well. Deep in the heart of a sleepy village, there was an old stone well. For generations, villagers believed that if they sat quietly beside it and waited patiently, their wishes would come true. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, people still try it. Every year, on the first day of spring, villagers gather at the well, sit in a circle and wait. Some people meditate, some pray, and some just stare into the water. They believe the well grants wishes to those who wait patiently, but no one knows why. Some believe the well has magic. Others say it's a miracle. All we know is that people keep coming back year after year, hoping their wishes will come true. 8. Night of the Pumpkin Patch. Protecting princesses and slaying dragons isn't all a knight's supposed to do. Occasionally, they've got to guard Yep, you heard right. During the harvest moon in October, a brave knight was assigned to guard a pumpkin patch in case anything or anyone tried to sneak in and steal the pumpkins. Sounds boring, doesn't it? Well, not really for the pumpkin. The patches were often visited by thieves, animals, and even other knights looking for a good scare. But this particular knight scared them all away with his fearsome battle cry, "Beware the pumpkins." His dedication saved countless pumpkins, and he was loved by the townsfolk. And yeah, he liked it that way. 9. The art of doing nothing. In today's world, doing nothing is almost impossible. Social media, emails, and notifications demand our attention every waking moment. But have you ever experienced the tranquility of doing absolutely nothing? Perhaps you've basked in the sun, meditated, or simply marveled at nature. Doing nothing isn't easy. Our minds are trained to multitask, but it's essential for mental health. The concept of doing nothing dates back thousands of years. Ancient Greek philosophers valued quiet contemplation, and Zen Buddhists practiced mindful stillness. Even Albert Einstein recognized the importance of doing nothing. "I do not know of any greater evil than doing," he said. "Being productive feels good, but sometimes it's crucial to disconnect and recharge." Doing nothing allows us to process experiences and emotions. It gives our brains a break from the constant stimulation. So next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the art of doing nothing. Let your mind wander, embrace the silence, and appreciate the present moment. And that concludes part 1 of our 20 pointless medieval stories. We hope you found these historical anecdotes peaceful. If you want to hear more stories like these, don't forget to subscribe for more captivating tales from history's tranquil moments.